I hate the idea of safe spaces. Like, I hate the idea of a safe space because, like, the world's never going to be safe. Like, those spaces don't exist when you leave. Like, once you leave an institution, those spaces do not exist.
Yeah, but some people argue that we shouldn't have safe spaces, that we should have brave spaces. Like the concept of the brave space, and this is not something I created. Like, if you look at the research, the concept of the brave space is that it's assumed to be relatively safe, but it's not absent of the fact that you may be offended in this space. But the assumption is that everyone in that space, this brave space, has good intent. And in the event that something is said that can be perceived as harmful, you pause, you unpack, and you reflect, and you aim in the direction of education and knowledge. Like, that's what the brave space is supposed to be. That, yo, you said something, I'm not sure if you meant it this way, but this is how it landed with me. And then you can say, yeah, that's what I meant. Or you can be like, no, that's not what I said. What I said was this. Oh, okay, I get it. And now we have that. The other thing in the brave space is that you understand that there's a difference between what you said and who you are, right? And so you can say what you said can be perceived as sexist. What you said can be perceived as homophobic. What you said can be seen as racist, but it's not that you call a person racist, right? Because that does nothing. But you say, you talk about the action that you want to change, the behavior that you want to change, and say, this is what I read this as. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but this is what I read it as. And you give that person the opportunity to explain themselves. If they confirm it, then you have your answer. If they don't, then you go from there. But that's not what some people think of a safe space. People think that if a campus is a safe space, that there's no way that you're ever going to be offended. And I don't think that's anything that we can promise.
Yeah, and I think back to Derek's point about the safe spaces, like, it just makes it seem like we can just come together, kumbaya, talk about how we feel. But like you were saying, sometimes people's intentions is to straight up just be racist, homophobic. So it's like, how do you confront that? And then as people of color, we don't get safe spaces. We got to make this space. We made this happen. So it's like, we don't get that same type of, coddling.
Now, y'all been saying, like, I don't mean this to be offensive. I'm going to say that now. I don't mean this to be offensive. But I do think in certain instances, specifically at predominantly white institutions, students of color are coddled in certain places, and I think given at times a false sense of security in their belief of what the world is going to be, right? And so what I mean is that people try and remove every single obstacle, which is fine, or cater to every need that you may have, or create these uber safe spaces where you're never going to be offended, and then send you out into the world that doesn't believe the same thing, right? You're about to graduate. And so I'm hoping that you don't believe that the world is a safe space, right? And so I think part of it is working with students and challenging them. That's why I think it's a brave space. Like, when I got into higher education, it's about this idea of a challenge and a support. I'm going to challenge each and every student that I have, or each and every person that I advise or interact with, but I'm going to challenge you in a supportive environment. And so when you leave this campus community, you've been challenged, but you've also been supported, and you feel that you're ready to kind of go out and do what you need to do in the world.